I saw a post that said the easiest way that a man can waste your time is by keeping you close enough to not lose you, but keeping you distant enough to not choose you.
Hey guys, hi YouTube. Welcome back to my channel. So I had to do this video right now because I just feel like I have a lot of stuff to do, and I'm taking a 2-day or so break from working out because I've been having a lot of pain on my back, upper back, near butt area, and the back of my leg. So the past 2 days have been kind of rough because the pain is lingering and bending is bothering me now. So I'll be seeing a chiropractor soon, and hopefully they can help me. But anyway, this video might be a little long, so get your snacks, get your drinks, you know. What time is it anyway? It's 1:26 over here, but I don't know about your time. Okay. So in my 43 years of life, I know I don't look like it, okay? But I'm 43 and I've learned some things about men. And as I've been watching a lot of women on here talking about this whole thing about decentering men, I totally agree with it. And I'm saying this as a married person. I love my husband. He's wonderful. But if I know what I know now, I would definitely encourage a lot of young women, single women out there to really decenter men, because I had my share. Okay. And I'm going to tell you guys a long story of why I believe in this. So one of the things that I've learned over the years about men is that men go after what they want and they prioritize themselves. Something that we women really need to learn. Got a job somewhere. He's going to be like, I'm taking the job. And he's not thinking like my family and this. You know what I mean? If you center a man, your whole world, you are going to be humbled. And one day you're going to wake up and regret it. Okay? Because even as a married woman, I say this, that no matter how much I love my husband, I know that I have to prioritize myself. I have to go after my dreams and goals. Like I said, you know, I took a break, for example, and we have raised our son and things like that. Things are great. So now I'm like looking back and asking myself, there were some things that I wanted that I put aside, you know, and so I have to come back and try to do some of those things because it's time for me too. So this is me prioritizing myself, you know, and my husband is very supportive of that because you need to really focus on yourself and you center yourself. And I have always encouraged this. I encourage it every single time. So I'm going to tell you guys a story that illustrates why this is so important. So a couple of years ago, when I was in that 6-year relationship that I left, I was single for about 1.5 years before I met my husband, and I was going through it. I was depressed. So I got on a dating app, met this guy, like we were talking for a little bit, and eventually we decided to meet. Originally, he wasn't my type, and I kept really rescheduling and not wanting to meet with him. And you know, and then one time somebody canceled on me that I was supposed to meet up with. So I decided to just go ahead and meet him. And the first time we started talking on the app, there was some things that I already saw that were kind of off. And this is one of the things why I say, if a guy gives you any kind of ick, like they say, you got to leave. That's your warning. That's that protection. You got to leave it. It's done. Don't rethink. Don't say, oh, let me try a second shot. I'm telling you, 90% of the time, that instinct, whatever you saw, is correct. So at first I was kind of like, no, he's not my type. I wasn't attracted in any way to him. So we talked and he was like, let's meet up. So I decided to meet with him after rescheduling, and things were okay. You know, we went and we started walking around, you know, at the malls and like that. And we started talking. And in that moment, I remember he was trying to get close, you know. And I was kind of like, I don't know about that. I was like, no, I'm not here for that. You know, can we just talk? So he was like, okay, let's go to the park. And we were hanging around the park. You know, it was flirty. It was fun. You know, we had our moments. You know, at first I wasn't attracted when I saw his pictures and we were talking on video. But when I met with him, he looked like he had changed. Like he had lost weight and he looked like he had a nice haircut and he looked a little bit better. So I was kind of like, okay, like we hanged out, you know, and things were good. The second time around we hanged out, he started acting funny. I noticed a change, a shift, where it's almost like he didn't really want to be seen with me. And at first I was like, okay, that's weird. Like, what was that? So I noticed that as we moved and we went somewhere else to hang out, he was very close and he wanted to be around me and all that. But when we were walking in public, I noticed the change. He shifted. So in that moment, I should have taken that and ran and never looked back. But stupid me, I stayed, thinking, oh, some days, people have different days, whatever. We went, we started hanging out often. Anytime that he wasn't working, he would call me, hit me up. And then pretty much after that, things started going downhill. The communication started disappearing, where sometimes he would call me randomly and I'm looking at the phone like, okay, he hasn't talked to me in months. Why is he calling me? Or I would call and he would go to voicemail and things like that. So I noticed a pattern where his communication was pretty much dying out. So I would do the same thing. I would try to match his energy when he was doing that. The times that I left him alone where I had forgotten about him, like I was moving on, talking to other people, he would show up out of nowhere. And I was like, okay, that's strange. So I would always let him in. We would talk and go back to normal. He would do the same thing, disappear and come back. Now, this is like, let's say 90% of it is for me to blame. It was myself to blame. And this is why I'm showing you guys this, so you can do better as a single young woman. Prioritize yourself, where you would not put yourself in a situation for somebody to be playing with you, where they do whatever they want to do at any time that they want to do. And this is some of the things that have taught me to be so much stronger and to be able to know, like, okay, I'm not playing that game. This is what you get. And if you come here trying to, do whatever, I don't open my door for you. It's taught me all this in my 43 years of life. So he did that. Another thing that I noticed was he wasn't celebrating a lot of things that I mentioned to him. If I would have said like, oh, guess what? I'm going to be doing this thing. He wasn't too happy about it. Every time I hanged around with this man, I got a cold and hot. It was never consistent, like nice. It was consistent, hot and cold. 1 minute he's talking like he doesn't want to really talk. The next he's kind of like talking like he wants me all around me. He wants to be near me. And later on, I started noticing one time I joked about, I said something about, there's so many women using their bodies or whatever to make money. Like, if I didn't have morals, like, I would do the same thing. And he was like, you should do it. And for me, it's funny. It's a joke. I was joking about it. But the way he said it, it seemed like he was serious about it. So that already started to make me question, like, what kind of a man would be okay for to tell a woman, go ahead and use your body to make your money? It gave me a little ick. Okay, so I let that. Every time I told him that people around me, my family members, were always happy to give me money for my birthday, or if we have events, we give each other gifts and whatever. He was like, oh yeah, I would take that money. I would take that money. He said it in a way like he would easily take it. And to me, that already triggered something else. Like, it seems like you're okay with people using people for what you need. And it's okay for you to go to the drastic measures to get your money. The other thing that he mentioned was he was always going to be there. And I looked at him. I was like, what do you mean? And I told him, are you dating other people? Like, what's the story? And he was like, no, I'm not. And don't worry, I'm always going to be here. And I looked at him funny. But that was a key word right there that he told me straight up. He showed me that. But I didn't pay attention until later. So I started getting a lot of red flags. And it seemed like this person was involved with someone. I connected the dots. This is how God will literally help you. And you may not even know it, but God will guide you. And when you ask him, I connected the dots because one time we were hanging out and I saw a shoe that looked like a woman's shoe. And one time he posted a picture on the dating app where we met. And the back of it, I saw sandals like a woman's sandal. Then later on, I started seeing a lot of stuff in his car that looked very suspicious. It looked like somebody there's definitely that a woman was around. And I also connected because early on, he brought up that he was talking about a kid. But when I asked him in person about it, he never really mentioned it. It was kind of weird. Like, he would talk about he wants a kid in texting. But when I asked him, like, yeah, are you sure you want a kid and all that, he would not really want to talk about it. So one time he texted me, he was like, oh, you could do the ovulation kits and all that and see when you can get pregnant and all that stuff. And I was like, okay, I don't need to, because I'm not interested in being, having a kid at this moment, And he kept pushing that. And one time we left it because I got mad at him. And so I was like, weird. So this man kept saying all the things that sounded good, never did any of them. He would keep me far enough where, you know, he could do his thing, but give me enough where he could be close at the same time. So this is this game of, I don't want you really, but I'm not going to let you somebody else have you. This is a classic one. So he kept doing this push and pull. And I started noticing the pattern. So I would match his energy. Like sometimes when he texted me, I wouldn't respond. Sometimes I would block him. He would get mad about it, find me another way to contact me, and we would do this toxic thing. So it became like a little game, and I enjoyed playing it at some point. But later on, as you guys know this story, I ended up blocking him and just walking away, and it was the end of it. Literally, it took me getting out and pulling out and saying, no, 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 this is enough for me. I'm done, and I know my worth. I know I deserve better. Like, this is not it. So he kept doing that. One time even asked me, was like, oh, am I going to ever get to meet your family? And I was like, why would you meet my family? We are not dating. And he was like, he got mad because he was like, so what is this? I was like, this is nothing. We are just doing, I don't know what. And he was like, oh, okay. Then another time he mentioned that there was times that he was under a lot of stress where he got mad at his mom and he got worked up about something. And that was another sign that told me that this was going to be my life if I got involved with this person. He would have moments where it seems like he was angry. Like he mentioned times where he would get mad at some women because they would give him dirty looks, and because he was looking somewhere and the women would give him like attitude, and he sounded angry about it. Typically the men that are not attractive and they have gone through it with women trying to get women, they carry an anger, and sometimes they take it out on you. If they find that you're a person who's radiant, beautiful, they take it out on you. You're the problem because, and they want to use it to humble you. So they'll do everything to try to make your life miserable. So you feel so bad and stuff like that. So over time, it was consistent red flags, push and pull. It was mind games. And whenever he did things that I didn't like, that I brought up, he had an issue with it. I have to check the time, guys. At least keep it 15 minutes. And it took me just literally, I cried because I liked the person. I did like him. But I had to realize that at this point, I'm wasting time. It was almost a year and a half of us doing this, and we were not going anywhere. And so one time he messaged me, and I just blocked it, and I never looked back. It was the best decision I ever made for myself, because I would have been in a different place this now. Because how can somebody show you they don't want you, but try to keep you around, and also mention, oh, marrying you one day and having kids, but their actions are saying otherwise. It was this up and down of a roller coaster where I would be heartbroken sometimes. I would be crying because I felt like, wow, this person was not choosing me. He wasn't picking me. So this is why I'm so against this whole thing where people feel like, oh, somebody has to marry you. No, if they don't marry you, it's okay, because sometimes you do not want to be married to that person anyway. It's not going to be the best for you. So if I really was desperate for marriage, I would have just gone ahead and got with this guy, despite me knowing that it was never going to work out. He was going to mistreat me. He was going to be negative. He brought negative energy around consistently. And that wasn't me. I'm not a negative person, and I couldn't deal with it. I had to be on eggshells constantly trying to be around him. And this was just dating. So you guys can imagine. So I say, as a married woman, dissenter man, focus on yourself, take care of yourself, build up yourself to the point where you are confident in yourself. You know what you're worth, because then you don't ever let somebody play little games with you, somebody to be somebody's second choice, to be somebody that, you know, is always available whenever the person calls and you pick up. All this stuff I learned over the 43 years of my life. And when I met my husband, he showed me otherwise, all the opposite of everything. And also it took me breaking my pattern. Typically, the people that I was talking to were just not good for me, ever. And I broke a pattern of, let me try something else. And I'm glad I did, because I've been way at peace and I'm so much happier. And I sleep really well at night because I know somebody got my back and they mean it. I am loved. I'm taken care of. And I'm just so glad that I made the decision to walk away, because I don't know where my life would have been a couple years ago if I had taken a risk and dated this person, really took it seriously. It would have been just up and down of a roller coaster. There's some men that are out there single for many years and years of their life because there's an issue that they're walking around with and they're not dealing with it. He was also raised by a single mom, which showed me everything. A lot of typically the men that are really problematic, they tend to have single moms, and they take out the anger that they dealt with their single mom on you. So that is just a perfect example when I tell you guys, figure out a way to not put men as the focus of your life. Yes, when you find amazing men that are wonderful, it's wonderful and they're amazing. But when you are you center men so much and you are so obsessed with that, you will end up in some situations that are not right. And to spend a whole year wasted where I was just like up and down, waiting for somebody to one day let me know, like, oh, I'm going to date you, giving me all the signs that he wasn't good for me, but I stuck around, So today I'm just like thinking about it. Sometimes I'm like, wow, I couldn't believe I did that.